Just a little bit of money.
All right, Violet doing hammer pegs the slow way, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah, we are bootsless, so no hammer dashing for us.
And there are the flippers. Violet's sequence break is closed. So the seed intended us to go into the Dark World, get the Titan's mitts in here, do the flippers, and then go back and do all of that. So sequence break completed for Violet, and that does also close it for Gweg, because that means our access up to Death Mountain would be the lamp.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point. And I don't think he's found too much here in Turtle Rock so far, but we do have our old friend Laser Bridge.
Yeah, let's not forget, Laser Bridge is actually going to be a sequence break in its entirety as well. Laser Bridge, in order to get the items off there, requires either one of the invincibility items, the Keen of Burna, or the Cape, or for you to have the Mirror Shield. Without any of those three, Laser Bridge is technically out of logic.
That is a fair point. I did actually forget that. I believe, judging by the tracker, that Blind may have had the Cane of Burna, so that's kind of interesting.
Oh, that is interesting. Meanwhile, Violet is taking Jeremiah on a bit of a world tour right now. We'll be picking up her mirror directly.
That's nice to have the mirror there now. She can just check Dig Spot and get it over with.
Yep, can put Dig Spot right in logic, can really do quite a bit. Just $20 here, unfortunately. All right, Gweg, let's see how you can handle Laser Bridge here. Oh, he's gonna safety strats here. I don't blame him per se.
No, this is the right play, because this is super difficult without any kind of the protection items.
So Violet's doing something interesting here. Violet got the mirror and then is now backtracking, because instead of doing the whole Froggy World Tour, we'll be able to turn Jeremiah in, pick up the purple chest, and then do the world tour with the purple chest, turn it in right after Hype Cave. So making things a little bit more efficient here.
Yeah, absolutely. That mirror wasn't a great location for these checks. Gweg, unsurprisingly, having some trouble here with Laser Bridge, but again, Laser Bridge is so difficult without one of those protection items.
And our blacksmiths are actually glass blowers right now, because we have ourselves another bottle. So that's all 4 bottles for Violet.
Well, that's incredible. We got all 4 bottles out of the way early.
Gweg is just getting hammered. These lasers are doing 2 full hearts of damage, plus when they knock you off is doing a third. This is kind of rough for Gweg right now, unfortunately. And there's Tempered Sword.
That's amazing. Taking one more death here, and I didn't see what was in K45.
Neither did I. Although I know Gweg checked it as well, and it's not really been beneficial to him, so I have no idea what it was.
Ugh. All those deaths, and I mean, we got tempered, but nothing too major here.
Yeah, this entire sequence break up towards Death Mountain has really done nothing to help out Gweg at all.
No, other than he has 3 swords compared to Violet's none, which is kind of interesting.
And here's the other thing. I don't think Gweg would be that far off. Remember, he picked up the Titan's mitts in that C-shaped house. He just didn't route back down to pick up the flippers that were literally like a screen over in those hammer pegs.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. Gweg having a touch of problem with the long neck there, but so far getting through this Trinex fight pretty good.
It just has to be a little bit careful. Trinex with Tempered Sword is not too terrible, honestly. Should be able to get him down relatively quick.
And down Trinex goes. Some rage slashes for the road, but because that really didn't pay off other than the sword. And nothing in purple chest, but I bet Gweg right now probably feels a bit behind.
Probably. Those swords are really the only thing he found on the entirety of Death Mountain. So we know the logic at this point in time is to go get the flippers in order to get Hobo, which has the lamp, and then the Waterfall Cave, which has the bow, and then you can go ahead and go up Death Mountain to get everything at that point in time. So both these runners' sequence broke. Violet's sequence break is closed. We know where Gweg has to go to fill that, but 3 of our swords were up on Death Mountain. So that tells me that we're doing a lot of swordless up until this point.
Yeah, absolutely. On Violet's side, that is very much the case. It's still without a sword. I would imagine that Death Mountain play for her is coming very soon.
As in right now.
There we go. I mean, it just made sense at this point for us all. It was pretty easy to predict.
Oh, absolutely. So Violet's going to be able to go up and around and do walk right by Tower of Hera. We'll see if she ends up spending any time in Hera. Gweg didn't necessarily find anything worthwhile. Also worth noting that Violet will be able to go ahead and do Turtle Rock as well, and that's the other 5/6 crystal. She's already done Eastern Palace, she's done Pod. Turtle Rock is going to be the other 5/6. We have Pyramid Fairy access as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. And what's kind of interesting right now is when we look back on these sequence breaks, you could make the argument if they would have stayed on logic, it actually was better for them in some senses. But right now, the way it went, Violet's probably in a better position overall.
I mean, let's talk about how much has been in the overworld. I mean, specifically, our dungeon checks have really been nothing at this point in time. The overworld has had just about everything. We've had flippers in the peg cave. We've had the power glove was fairly early, I believe.
Power glove was a race game, maze game.
Yeah, power glove was race game. Titansmith's was C-shaped house. We have 2 swords that are going to be in the Paradox Cave over here. Bow was in Waterfall of Wishing. Ice Rod was in Hype Cave. Hammer was in Sahasrara's hut. Literally, all of our progression up to this point in time has come from the overworld. Nothing in dungeons.
That is utterly amazing. That doesn't happen too often, and it's you remember we got Fire Rod early from Uncle and Mirror from Stumpy. This is kind of an incredible seed in that respect. So right now we're getting a lot of the same checks that we had earlier. And I'll just take this opportunity here and make sure you guys give these runners a follow. They've been playing pretty good. We've seen some interesting sequence breaks, some dark rooms, so definitely want to check them out. Give them a follow when you get a chance.
Absolutely. So this has been just an awesome race at this point in time. Violet was able to close the sequence break quite a bit sooner. Gweg's on track. If he as soon as, I mean, he'll be able to do blind relatively easy at this point in time, but the sooner that he gets those flippers, the sooner he will be on track. The problem is he doesn't know where really those key items are that we know VioletPumpkin sequence broke. The hobo for the lamp, and then the bow is on Waterfall Fairy Cave.
That is a very good point. At this point, I would imagine after Thieves Town, he's going to end up doing a lot of the southern Dark World stuff, the frog, and then probably get the hammer pegs at that point to get his flippers, and most likely will jog his memory into doing the Zora play. So hopefully for him, it won't be too long before he gets that stuff.
It does look like Violet's going to go ahead and full clear Tower of Hera. I don't necessarily blame Violet. I mean, it's a relatively quick dungeon, all things said. Really kind of desperately hoping for a sword. But this is one of those dungeons that's not too terrible, even without a sword at this point in time. So hoping for something. Violet, I promise your suffering is almost over.
Yeah, almost an hour in, still no sword for her. And Gweg has all three, or 3 of the 4. But yeah, so she'll be going to East Death Mountain here shortly, and unfortunately she'll be disappointed by Hera. Well, I'm very curious. Obviously, we won't be able to know, but I'm curious what their mindsets are right now. You gotta figure both runners feel maybe a bit behind based on the routing, especially Gweg. You know, Gweg probably feels a bit behind.
Yeah, I mean, that Turtle Rock play was a bold play, and I think he was hoping that more came out of that. Unfortunately, it didn't. So Gweg, I think, definitely feels behind right now. So he's going to go back and do things a little bit more traditionally and hope it comes in. I'm looking things over here. We are just a hook shot and a flute away from go mode, and we're at 57 minutes in. We found a lot of stuff, all things said. We're just waiting on our last couple, but these swords have absolutely... I mean, they've trolled Violet at this point in time, but she's done very well to make do with it without it.
Yeah, absolutely. Violet has played absolutely amazing race so far. 4 dungeons down, as you said, without a sword. It's pretty impressive. I like Link's victory animation without a sword. When he puts up the sword and he has nothing there, it makes me laugh a little bit.
Just like a fist in the air, like, yeah, I did it.
I don't need no stinking sword.
All right, so Violet going to be doing the slow spiral cave of shame. Gweg looks like he realizes, oh, I can go ahead and do Skull Woods now, finally.
Yep, I forgot last time, and this is might as well get it out of the way now. And if he had the book, which Violet does, he could make 100% sure that Ped wasn't a thing, a pedestal wasn't a thing, but he does not, so we won't be able to check that. Which it could be a thing.
I mean, it absolutely could be a thing at this point.
And have we seen Meyer's medallion yet?
Well, no, because we don't have the flute, and we absolutely need the flute in order to get over to Meyer.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know what I was thinking.
No, it's fine. I mean,
brain lapses are a thing for me.
it's all right. I think brain lapses are just a thing that happens in Randomizer. Like, you just can't stop it from happening.
Absolutely. There's so much going on, and so Violet will be real happy here to find not 1 but 2 swords here in Paradox.
Oh, sub hour. Violet's very happy with that sword. Just slashing away. Oh, and look, Master Sword for you.
So drolly.
Nah, worse can happen.
Oh, absolutely. She, like we said earlier, she's made do without him playing a really, really good race. And a nice Mothula fight from Gweg there. Not too bad. But Mothula only with the 50 rupees.
And here comes Violet. Are you going to do the Turtle Rock check, Violet? Are you? Yes, Violet's doing the Turtle Rock check.
Yep. What's kind of right now we actually are at a tie in crystals with. Other than Thieves Town, they both have 2 other different crystals, and Violet getting rock block there.
Yeah, I mean they're in a very good spot. Gweg, I think, certainly can catch up if he makes the right sequence of plays. Violet is in a position where we know she's getting ready to get the Tempered Sword. This is going to be one of the longer dungeons to complete, but she can go ahead and complete it. Everything in logic is telling her to do it right now, so why not? Skullwoods is absolutely possible. Turtle Rock is absolutely possible, but she's already up here, so why not?
Yeah, you might as well. We can't do Swamp Palace yet. We can do a few chests, which that would be pretty trolly if the hookshot was there.
And here's the problem. Gweg is not going back down to do those hammer pegs. Those hammer pegs. Oh my goodness. Hammer pegs hold the flippers, and the flippers lead us directly to the lamp and to the bow. So he's looking all over right now for these locations. We know where they're at. Gweg not making bad checks by any stretch. The problem is we know they're not the right ones.
Exactly. It's something that I would do. You know, these northern spots can be a bit of a pain to get, especially Graveyard Ledge if you already check Bumper, which he has. So just get it out of the way. Definitely understandable.
Oh, and he realizes that he can't cross the river because he doesn't have the flippers. Oh, Gweg. Oh my gosh. I just realized something.
What's that?
I'm old Gweg. Do you like some Baileys? Drink it out of a boot. You don't know the old Greg joke? Never mind.
I don't. I apologize.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I hope someone in chat gets the old Greg joke. I'm old Greg.
I'm trying to play along. I'm just at a complete loss. I'm like,
They're like, what are you talking about?
Oh, so right now, as we were mentioning, Gweg does need to get to the hammer pegs desperately at this point. At this point, I think he's a bit confused, wondering where he should go. That's kind of impression that I'm getting from based on that little save and quit thing there. Hammer pegs, Gweg. Hammer pegs.
Yeah, I mean, if he's looking at what all he has access to, I think he's got to know. Did he pick up the shovel? Yes, he did. Okay, he did pick up the shovel, so he's going to do the shovel spot.
And find out they're not there.
So, Gweg, what we absolutely need you to do, I mean, if he's following the logic, he can still do hammer pegs. He hasn't done Jeremiah yet. He can do the purple chest. He's just, up to this point in time, completely forgotten about those locations, unfortunately. He's doing an Eastern dive. No.
Eastern, which means that he's not going to find it here, which you got a feeling he might even go into the pod route. Ugh, yeah, this is going to be brutal. Oh, and that Gweg reference was a Chappelle show. I can't believe I missed that. According to chat.
Oh, it's all right because I'm old and I've been around since the internet first started.
Hey, I'm 31 myself. I should know that.
You merely adopted the memes. I was born into them, molded by them.
I know that one. Oh, that was great. Anyway, Gweg is making a pod check. This is... the longer he goes, the longer behind he's going to end up getting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a simple check. When does Gweg go and pick up his flippers at the hammer pegs? And until he does, he's just going to get further and further and further behind because he's not making progress right now. Violet is.
No, absolutely not. The good thing for him is, assuming he knows the dark rooms, and we saw him do a dark room already, he can clear these to get the crystals. Or no, he can't. He don't have the bow. Never mind.
Doesn't have the bow.
I forgot about the sequence like Violet did. So yeah, this is going to be rough. I understand the plays though. That's the thing. You understand the plays, but they're just obviously you can only check one chest here in Pod, so now he's going to be going to Eastern. But
yeah, I mean, and he hasn't checked Eastern either. He's going to get through and be disappointed here as well.
hopefully at that point it will jog his memory on the southern Outcast Village checks. I know some people do tend to wait to do those pretty late into their runs, but that obviously is the play right now.
My concern for Gweg really is that because he got the mitts that were right there in the C-shaped house, he thinks he's already checked it, which would be horrible.
Oh yeah, that would be a disaster.
So VioletPumpkin there picking up the Tempered Sword and the final key.
59 minutes in, didn't have a sword. 8 minutes later, here's a Tempered.
I mean, again, it's worth noting that three of the four swords were absolutely locked behind a horrible combination, all things said, of getting the Titan's Mitt to get the flippers to get the lamp, which lets you go to Death Mountain, logically, at any rate.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the swords are pretty trolly. We don't know where the fourth one is yet, but
Gweg not finding. He's going to do another Darkroom sequence break, which isn't going to be very happy.
no, absolutely not.
At least this Darkroom is going to be a little bit easier than him picking up a Cane of Samaria block and walking around with it to be the guide.
So Greg leaving Eastern, going back to the Dark World. I forget. Maybe he has to do Pyramid and Catfish.
Yeah, I mean, he might think at this point Pyramid and Catfish. Anything else would be a save and quit at this point.
That makes
Welcome
sense.
to a deck that's been rocketing up the ladder, the competitive ladder, as of late. It's good old Quest Road. And the only new card is Vicious Scalehide, but it's more about the metagame that Quest Road enters. The aggro decks lost a little bit of teeth, and it seems like the aggro decks currently lose to Fan of Knives. Like, that's a pretty big thing. Now, unfortunately, ever since the Caverns Below was nerfed, I disenchanted the card, so we're gonna have to make do with a replacement.
Yep, and he is going
That sounds about right.
right on over to Pyramid, which
Anyways,
we'll get a chance to see. We saw Violet make the check earlier, but didn't actually get to
And
see
it's
what
good
was on
against
there.
combo decks because this is a tempo combo deck. I'm not a brilliant Quest Rogue player, so good luck to me.
That's a very good point.
Okay, that's more like it. Warlock. Unless dear Jason over here paid attention to my awesome zoo deck.
All right, we will be working on getting Violet's stream back up in the race at this point in time. We know that she was going to be on her way to fight Trinex. Not quite sure the outcome of that. Up to this point in time, I'm sure Violet is capable. Meanwhile, Gweg is on his way to Catfish, hoping for a miracle.
This hand is kind of trash.
Which we know won't be a catfish.
Which we know won't be a Catfish. We know where Gweg has to go.
Brewmaster, the novice. Yeah, probably not.
Old Gweg has to go to the Pegging Cave.
Just leave it on the board. Use that coin. The fellow doesn't know how critical
But
this
once-
engineer is to
Once we get the hammer and he gets his stuff and he probably does Easter and Pod, what would be the next play at this point? We Swamp Palace isn't completable. We still need the flute. Are we gonna have to do
Shard path.
Desert or Ice Palace? Well, Ice Palace being the
Like, how can I really
probably the one that's
I have, one
the
shard,
most logical.
shard, 3 shard, 4 shard.
Well, let's think about this a little bit. We have
I mean, obviously I'm playing.
so we are a hook shot and a flute away. Now, Ice Palace, depending on key placement, requires the hook shot for certain segments of it. Desert Palace does not in any capacity. Plus, Desert Palace is also the green pendant. Now, we can't do anything in Misery Mire until then.
No, absolutely not. It's even though we need the hook shot as well, you never know that hook shot could be in the first couple chests in Swamp too, which is definitely looking more and more like a possibility.
Oh, that would be horribly trolly. I love it.
Nice that he actually has hands.
Of course he would. that would be troll. That would be something. I mean, as many of the overworld stuff as we've gotten, it would make sense for the hook shot to be in the one dungeon you don't probably want the hook shot to be in.
Like the Vanish for the 5th Novice Engineer, possibly.
Gweg looks like maybe he's going back to the hammer peg area, so hopefully he makes
Okay.
that check.
Come on, Gweg. Everyone, give Gweg your send psychic messages to Gweg. It's like you're on the right path. Keep going. Now just go. Once you go through the portal, just go south. South, Gweg.
I'm gonna assume that's fine. The next
Yes. Good job, Gweg.
I can
Woohoo!
my card, and it lets me do the coin knob.
I'm guessing he'll probably grab the frog first and then head that way.
That would be logical.
And then I think I'm willing to take the 11 damage once. And then I start off with the Vanish into starting the board with 5/5.
All right, Jeremiah pickup, and he is going. I think he realizes what he's missed. He's not going to find exactly what he's looking for, but he'll be close.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be doing hammer pegs pretty much right away, and maybe we'll see some rage from him. That would be fun.
Everyone's so afraid of just overdrawing one card, but
I think it will see a fair bit of rage, particularly once he sees what's locked behind the flippers.
I'd like to say
Oh,
Like he will-
the true
He will get the flippers, and he will immediately go and check I think, those other overworld locations.
Most likely. I could see him, since he's here, grabbing the purple chest as well, and there it is!
And Gweg is visiting our wonderful glass blowers today.
Yeah. Gets his 4th bottle, and yeah, it does look like he's going to be grabbing the purple chest as well, which makes sense.
Yep, he's going to be saving and quitting and going. He's already gotten all the treasures that you can collect in that direct vicinity, so might as well do the purple chest, turn it in, and it's just a quick jaunt over. I really hope he doesn't dip Swamp Palace before checking Hobo and the Waterfall Ferry, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. I was wondering if that would be the next play he makes, since it's going to be literally right along the way. He might be thinking, well, hey, could be a trolley item in here, which is possible with the hook shot. Which, grabbing the hook shot could lead him astray and put him in the Ice Palace territory.
And that's actually, as I recall, Gweg's first check for the Hoarder Crab, which had bombs, which he avoided up to this point in time.
Oh, that's right, yep. Alright, so he is making the correct play. He did avoid Swamp there, which I failed to remember they had to go back up and go back in the Dark World for, but this is definitely the right play. Just wait till you get the lamp and the bow here.
Well, we know he's going towards the lamp right now, which is absolutely the right play. The problem that we're going to run into is he's already checked Zora, he's already checked Catfish, which are the two things directly in the waterfall area. We hope he remembers to go, immediately dive down and get the Waterfall Ferry area. He has not sequence broken those. Violet has had these items from the beginning and leaned hard into that sequence break, and it really benefited her routing at this point in time. We'll see if Gweg makes a similar call, makes some angry, and leaves a bomb. That's rude.
I don't blame him, though.
All right, keep going south. Come on, keep going south, Gweg. You can do it. Are you doing it? Are you doing it? Yes, he's doing it!
Whew. Yeah, a little nervous there for a minute. You were a bit worried about where he would go. It's like, don't go to Ice Palace. Don't go to Ice Palace. Well, he had a bomb for Hobo. What's he going to have for this?
He's got all of his rage out on Hobo. He's just a quick save and quit. He'll be able to do Eastern and Pod and get that combo very quickly out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it might as well at this point. He will full clear Pod. Remember, he only checked the one chest, but which you'll find nothing.
Looks like Violet is on her way over to Desert, which tells me that she hasn't necessarily found anything up to this point in time.
Yeah, this seed has been a very, very interesting seed. Like we mentioned before, there was so much stuff in the beginning, and then we got down to hook shot and flute, but now we're running into where are these items?
All right, so Gweg on his way over to Pod. It's absolutely the right play to make at this point in time. He'll be able to do this combination. He's not going to find anything necessarily in here. As we mentioned earlier, all the progression seems to be in the overworld in this seed, which is really odd.
Yeah, it's been a very, very odd seed. And it's just getting out of there.
It is also worth noting that Palace of Darkness is actually bow locked. After that first treasure chest being an item, it's either a key or the whole dungeon's bow locked. So all of Pod is intended to be done after getting the flippers and getting the lamp and kind of doing that weird combination.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a minor glitch, as far as I'm aware, it's still considered minor, with a potion. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but you could get past this part without the bow. But it would obviously be a sequence break again.
Well, both of these runners have absolutely shown a willingness to do sequence breaks. Gweg less so. I mean, he did the break up to Death Mountain, which had all the swords.
Yeah, literally. But it's interesting right now. On Violet's side, you're still looking for the hookshot. You're still looking for the flute. It looks like they're going to make the swamp play, and I don't blame her.
Now, the real interesting thing is going to be, did she pick up the hook shot at any point in time while we weren't able to see what was going on? Interested to see her pause menu here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so people in chat, thank you guys so much for checking. Checked Violet's stream on her personal tracker. Keep in mind, the tracker that we use here is we have the wonderful Planeswalker helping us out doing tracking for us. Violet has to maintain her own personal tracker, does not have the hook shot marked, so it's possible that she's dipping here hoping to find the hook shot, which means we're really kind of being pulled around right now.
Yeah, absolutely. This seed got weird. She can check this chest underneath the big chest. She can check the two left side chest, and if she gets the big key, she can check the big key chest. But that's about it for swamp.
There's the hook shot.
Oh, that's trolly. Oh, that is brutal.
What is this? What is this?
You just had a feeling it was there. You didn't want it to be there, but you just kind of feel. And she looked like she was about to go mode swamp, and I think she thought better of it, or she didn't have the key. It looks like she might be avoiding left side.
Well, and this is an interesting play, and I know a lot of runners, when you only have one item left for go mode, you go ahead and skip left side swamp if you can, because if you find it on the back end, you can completely skip that left side, which takes a lot of it out.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense to make this play, and if you don't find the flute, would you go back and do left side at that point?
Yes, absolutely. The last thing I want to do is have to take the time to reopen all of Skullwood or all of Swamp Palace. So absolutely go ahead and knock it out if it's not here or not in this first one. Go to the left side.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. And there's the big key.
Yeah, and at this point, you're gambling, you're not going back. If you have to come back, you have to come back. So
yeah,
go ahead and gambling out.
I was wondering if she went backward through that area where she found the big key. You can go back there and go pretty much right to the big key.
There's the flute.
Well, about 124 in, VioletPumpkin is in mostly go mode. I mean, I guess it's theoretically possible to gain a big key is on the torch. That would be
Theoretical. Here's the thing. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mostly go mode. Keep in mind, we also don't know if Misery Mire, because we haven't seen that at all, if it's Bombos.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So Swamp, absolutely the play with both the hook shot and flute.
That Swamp being trolly today. And with a really nice Argus fight, though, VioletPumpkin takes him down and gets a small bit of love for her trouble.
So yeah, at this point in time, I think the proper play for Violet to go ahead and do is go over, unlock the flute, do Skull Woods while you're in the area, because she still hasn't done Skull Woods, I don't think. And then Misery Mire, and you're done.
Yep, absolutely. And she is heading over to Kakariko Village, so maybe the Skullwoods play. Or no, the flute. You gotta activate the flute yet. While Greg is finishing up Helmasaur, he'll be finishing up Eastern right after that.
Absolutely. So Violet goes ahead, unlocks the Swag Duck. So we'll have running around. We'll see if she flutes away immediately or goes ahead and does the Skullwoods play.
Yeah, absolutely. Be very curious to see which.
The question I have for you then, what is maximum troll possibility that we have?
Oh, I think the maximum troll is Bombos, not Bombos being Mire, and then Boots, or the big key on the Torch and GT, and you have to leave GT to find the Boots. That is where we get trolly. And Boots on pedestal. I don't think Boots could be on pedestal because it doesn't. Never mind.
And it's Quake, so we have double Quake for both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. Violet is going to be go-moding this.
We needed a Swag Duck to get the Mire where Quack needs to open it. Still gotta find the big key, which can be a bit trolly if you're in the wrong location, if it's after the cutscene of doom, as I call it.
Yep, there is right now only a 4.5% chance that VioletPumpkin is not in go mode if the big key to Ganon's Tower does require the boots on that lamp. We don't know yet, but it's, again, only a 4.5% chance. So
look at you with your quick math.
And Violet gets a very quick big key in Misery Mire. She will be going right over, I think, picking up this key in the side and just going.
Yeah, absolutely. Just easy peasy, lemon squeezy at this point. The one thing to keep in mind is we haven't found silvers, so we will, unless it's in GT, probably end up having silverless Ganon.
All signs point to silverless. Again, it's not completely out of the question at this point in time, but it's what we're likely going to get.
So we know also that Gweg needs to make the swamp play immediately after this. We hope he doesn't make like an Ice Palace play or something. But so once he makes that, he should be in go mode himself.
Yep, so he does Eastern. I mean, he's right there. Considering all the sequence breaking that Violet did, the main difference right now is Gweg's delay into getting those flippers. Otherwise, this is a neck-and-neck race.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not over. If he goes to Swamp Palace right now, it's not too horribly big of an advantage at this point either. It's a couple of mistakes in GT. This could get real close real quick.
All right, so Gweg is dipping down. I want to say that Gweg is going to go ahead and do Swamp Palace, but I get the feeling that he's actually going to be doing the Pyramid Fairy check because he does have both the 5 and the 6 crystals completed there.
Yeah, that's very good point. It's logic. Well, he's going south.
Oh, Gweg not making the play.
Bombo's tablet?
Yeah, checking Bombo's tablet. Meanwhile, VioletPumpkin does have Misery Mire down. Just Skullwoods left for Violet.
We think. Yeah, Bombo's tablet for Gweg does make sense here. You're right there. You might as well check it real quick, especially since you don't have the hook shot. But as we know, they're all in that good old swampy.
Oh, Violet actually did Swamp Palace during the outage, so she has 7 crystals done. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite game. There are 22 treasure chests in Ganon's Tower that can all contain the big key, including the lamp. 1 through 22, go ahead and get your guesses in. We do not have the leaderboard on ALTTP randomizer channels, but we're still going to play because it's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a guess?
I'm going to go with 8. I generally stick with 8. I like the fire bar room, so I'm going to stick there.
Fair. I'm going full troll here. I'm going 22. No, you know what? I'm going big torch. I'm going torch.
Jump with the torch. Maximum trollage engaged. All right. 8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9, 8, 6, 7. Okay.
You beat me to the punch there. Jenny's torch. Yep, Jenny's torch. There we go. So I'll be very curious to see what Pyramid Fairy actually has. If it does have silvers, that would be huge for Gweg.
Gweg's main chance to catch up is if boots are here and then boots are required.
That's fair, yeah. We don't know if... Ooh. Oh. I was going to say, we didn't know what was in... We don't know if Violet checked Pyramid Fairy or not, but that... Having the magic bat there, or the magic there, that's... Hopefully that doesn't lead him astray.
He's going in the right direction.
Mm.
2 keys. So Violet is going full right side, not checking the torch.
Gweg, where you going?
Gweg, come back, Gweg. Oh, he's going to dip desert.
I mean, you get it, you understand why, but this is... I don't think he's checked the key in this cave either, actually.
Violet working through this right side here. Getting the cape, which is nice. It is admittedly nice. And there's the silvers.
Oh, right side was a good call in that respect. Because most likely if she went left, she'd find the big key. Obviously now, unless it was in torture room. I don't think she did torture room, but or tile room. Sorry. So there's a good chance that Gweg might not get silvers, even though she has a big lead at this point. But
Absolutely. Gweg is going to go ahead and open up just 5 arrows, so
oh,
not required. Violet officially 100% go mode now, armed with silvers. It's just a matter of efficiency at this point.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always a scary proposition not coming in a GT without boots with that torch. You're like, don't be there, don't be there.
Oddly enough, a lot of people do that check is especially hoping. Like they will check early so they know if they need to leave, they can go ahead and leave. That being said, I mean, it's absolutely possible for it to be here. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, big key. Well, he knows the small key's on the torch, so. But he can, if I'm not mistaken, he can complete desert here, at least the boss battle. And we hope he doesn't do that because we know where to go.
So that was treasure chest number 12, actually, right now for Violet, because did right side first.
Yep, that is correct. And so far, it's being a bit trolly. Got some more money, more problems. Get into the rando room, which is called that because you only come in this room for randomizer.
Yeah, just no reason. There's absolute garbage in here in the vanilla game. There we go. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
17.
Number 17.
I was going to say no garbage in here today because we got the big key. We're now just basically a gauntlet and Aga want to and gain the way from this seed being over for Violet.
Unfortunately, yeah. This is going to be very, very quick, I presume. I mean, armed to the teeth. I don't know if you're armed better. I'm sorry, I had to sneeze in the middle of that. You don't necessarily need to be armed any worse or any better right now to get through this gauntlet any quicker than Violet will be able to get through here.
No, absolutely not. And finding silvers on that right side will make the GT fight that much easier, or the Ganon fight, not the GT fight. But so that was a pretty good check. Even though it didn't have the big key, getting the silvers was huge. Well, Gweg getting his green pendant. Hopefully that doesn't lead him even further astray from Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I'm worried it's going to. I mean, Swamp Palace is just one of those dungeons that you don't want to dip without the hook shot. Violet made an amazing call to go ahead and go in there. 2 amazing calls by Violet really is going ahead and following that sequence break and just full leaning into it for that early check. And then the play into Swamp is really the main differentiating factors here. Oh, but taking a death. I think she has a fairy, though.
Yep. Yeah, that she does. And, folks, we do call it the gauntlet for a reason. It is not the easiest thing to get through. Well, Gweg's going to decide to give us a pedestal check here.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, this could be boots, which would be amazing at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, a better copy of your sword. So our fourth sword is on the pedestal.
So 3 swords were in the Death Mountain area, or 2 in Death Mountain, 1 on Turtle Rock, the 4th being pedestal. This seed did not want you to have a sword.
No, this seed wanted you to feel the pain of a swordless seed.
And to Violet's credit, she did, what, 4 bosses without a sword, so she felt the pain.
Yeah, let's see. Just counting it. Thieves' Town, Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness, and I think she did Tower of Terror without a sword too. Absolutely, you're right.
That is pretty incredible. This seed, I tell you.
There are worse.
Absolutely. It's been a fun seed though, nonetheless.
All right, so Violet on her way up. Has plenty of keys, isn't going to have to stop. We'll recharge her magic. Gweg is... What is Gweg doing?
I'm not sure.
Oh, he's doing Magic Bat.
Oh, yeah, he got last stray from the Pyramid Fairy. You don't have to use the hammer there. You could just actually mirror beyond the hammer, but Gweg went with the hammer out, which is perfectly acceptable. Well, let's just hope this doesn't lead them even further astray.
Don't know if a big 20 can lead you astray, but...
Now, I was trying to think what could possibly lead you astray at that point, but nonetheless, I guess Boots could have, because then you could have checked like Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb, but...
See, at this point, I'm worried that Gweg is... I mean, he has everything to do Ice Palace. I don't know if he's avoiding Ice Palace, hoping for the hookshot as well, just because of weird logic things that happen in there. Ice Palace and Swamp Palace are really his only options right at the moment, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And Violet is on Aga 2. I think she has 2 hits already.
Yeah, they are synced up really well and kind of in an interesting location, so trying to get as many hits off together as possible.
That looked like a double, but I'm not sure if it counted.
Oh, that was a triple, yeah.
Oh, I see what Gweg is doing, the lumberjack check, which he did not do at the beginning of the seed. He's going to find out. That's nothing.
Now, so Violet, that confuses me because they still don't have the boots. Violet, very nice Aga kill on her way to the blue pig. Let's get some blue bacon here.
Get some of that lovely Hyrulean bacon.
We do have to be a little bit careful here. Violet only at 4 hearts. I think she's already used the fairy. Don't know. Oh, there's the death.
She hugged him.
Ganon hugs, best hugs.
Gweg decided to go grab the red mail there. I don't know if he forgot what was up there or if he decided to get a little bit more safety.
And Violet actually looked like that might have been an intentional death to just restart with a few more hearts, which, okay, fair.
That's fair. Does she got potions, right? I think she might have at least 1 blue.
I know she has at least 1 blue, unless she somehow used them elsewhere.
Smartly going cape strats here. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, okay, well, there's a blue.
Gweg I think going to do Spike Cave now. He's just getting further and further astray. Oh, Spectacle Rock maybe.
Oh, Ether Tablet, which is also going to be triple bombs because Violet did check that.
Oh, yep, that's right. That's right. You know, you definitely understand Greg's hesitation, and obviously, but it is unfortunate. You know, it happens, and ugh.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely understand it. Oh, and Violet has a good setup here. Oh, just two. And this will be the final silver arrow to the face. GG, VioletPumpkin.
Yep. GG indeed. A great race by VioletPumpkin. Solid routing, solid sequence breaking. Congratulations. That was a fun race.
Yeah. What's that reference? I don't know.
I'm unsure as well.
But either way, GG, VioletPumpkin. Wonderful, wonderful time there. Like a 144-ish in that neighborhood. Very well done. Moving on to 2-0 the second week. 2-0 is where all the big boys are at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good spot to be too, and you know, get 2 of the 5 wins that you're gonna need to move on to the second round. Absolutely. And Gweg here is finally getting to the Swamp Palace, and I'm sure the disappointment's setting in there.
And I believe Zelnus, our wonderful restreamer, shout out to Zelnus, by the way, for working through all of these things. Zelnus pointing out, I believe Violet is not going to be able to join us, unfortunately.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. But GG nonetheless, and that was a great race for her, and yeah, absolutely. Like you said, shout out to Zelda's Plans Walker for the tracking, and make sure you guys give these runners a follow. This has not been the easiest seed. It's been a bit trolly, and they've done a fine job.
Absolutely. I mean, the sequence breaking that happened, 3 swords up on Death Mountain in total, just making you do most things swordless. And then the hook shot, I mean, all but vanilla hook shot, just really pulled these runners around, and still getting a sub 2 hour, I mean, a sub 150 even, is just amazing. GG to VioletPumpkin, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Sub 2 in this seed is amazing. I know. Well, hopefully Gweg does not go left side, which I would expect him probably to skip at this point, and then find a flute, get through Misery Mire.
Gweg is about to be happy, I think, or frustrated.
Probably a little both. I know I would be.
Okay, what's the over-under on rage slashes we're going to see from Gweg?
I'm going 6.
6? Okay. That's fine. I'm thinking 4 and a bomb. You got it! 6 immediately! Holy cow!
On the mark. Oh, that was perfect.
Burn the witch! Burn the witch!
Oh, man, that was amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. That felt great. Oh man, you definitely understand the rage slashes though after that. Oh man.
Oh yeah, you're looking all over the place for that. Poor Gweg.
All those checks without the boots too just made it that much, probably made it that much worse too.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I kind of just want to know where the boots are in this seed. Bootsless seeds are just horrible in and of themselves. I mean, we're speedrunners. We like to go fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And boots make you go the fastest, and not to mention how late we get flute and hookshot, the 3 items that make your routing that much easier. Ugh, this was a rough seed in terms of routing. My guess is probably Ice Palace, most likely.
Likely, yes. I mean, at this point, we've checked everywhere else.
Yeah, they could be behind Ice Armos. That is a possibility, but or even Tower Room. That would be trolly, but. So right now, officially, Gweg is in go mode at about 150 even, and he'll take out Armos and head straight to Misery Mire. I'll be curious to see if he goes right side and gets the silvers. Obviously, he doesn't know they're there, but like Violet ended up doing, she went right side first.
Yeah, I want to ask Violet about that. I wonder if that's because she wanted to go ahead and do all of right side just in case it was, so she'd already have most of the place done. I don't know.
Yeah, some runners do, like, if they get that key, they like to get the right side and get that over with, just so it doesn't troll them later. I'd be very curious about that as well. Gweg
All
with
right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just gonna say Gweg with a nice Armos fight. Argus.
Too many A names. Argus, Armos,
Aga.
Vitreous.
Vitreous. It's easy to get mixed up when I did mention Ice Armos not too long before that, so that was where my mind was.
Nah, that's fair. All right, so Gweg, saving and quitting, gonna be taking a nice slow walk over here. Nice slow old man shot. Oh, okay. Did you guys just see that on Gweg's side? So he did the hook shot, trying to stun the guard, and the hook shot retracted before it actually touched the guard, and it didn't stun him. So that's actually something really cool that has been around for a while. The guards have I-beams that are going around, and they are technically a collision item. So if you can, like, if it's the same sort of vision, like, okay, if you get hit with the I-beam, the guard knows you're there and it starts charging after you. But with one of your projectiles can absolutely hit their I-beams, and that was an example of Gweg's hook shot actually hitting the I-beam and then retracting before it could actually hit him.
Huh. I did not know that myself. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you don't see everywhere, but I mean, you can absolutely see it in that. And if you just rewind just a little bit, you absolutely see Gweg just zipping over there, and it. Yeah. Now Gweg is checking the mire shed. We never check this location because we're in go mode.
Right. Unless he's looking for silvers.
He might be silver hunting. That's fair.
That'd be about the only thing, because he did check pedestal, so he knows the butter sword's up there. That has to be it.
All right, I think Violet actually finished out her stream. She's going to close it down so she can try to join us. And joining us now is VioletPumpkin, GG. I think this is her first time on Discord, on chat Discord, so we're trying to get everything set up here.
Sorry about that. I go take care of something.
Meanwhile, Gweg is still in Misery Mire. We'll see. Does he just grab the key? Oh, he's actually checking. He's full clearing it, looks like.
I got a clutch heart there to refill his hearts.
Oh, that's good. Okay, he is going to go ahead and he just wanted to pick up kind of maybe hoping for silvers along the way. We know where they are, of course.
Absolutely. It'll be... And I'll be curious to see if he does decide to go right side. Then I mean, you get what? You got 2 keys in that right side, correct?
Yes, I believe so. Nice thing about this is you don't have to hit this. You don't have to hit this, Gweg. You never. Yeah, there you go.
That's easy to do if you don't have to hit it, but you kind of forget sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of muscle memory after a while. You're like, oh, I have to hit this thing. Oh, wait, I don't. Now, Gweg is armed to the teeth. He's got 17 hearts. He'll have cape, so he'll be able to do cape strats. Doesn't have silvers, but silvers aren't I mean, silvers would be the fastest, but he doesn't necessarily have them, so cape strats are just as good.
Yeah, absolutely. And silverless tempered isn't too bad. It's what, 12 swings, I believe, or 12 spins. Phase 4.
Yes, I mean they're pretty quick here.
And while we got a chance here, I just want to say, if you're looking for more randomizer, have no fear. There's still plenty of randomizer going on today, and a ton coming up this next week. Obviously, we are only in week 2. We have 7 weeks of Swiss plus the bracket round. So if you won't get rando withdrawals, I promise.
Oh God, no! There's so much rando to be had. Gweg does get his kill on Vitreous, and now will be on his way up Death Mountain, on his way to Ganon's Tower. Just plugging everything out there, starting right now over on ALTTP Randomizer 1 is Elminster versus Durand. Also at 6 o'clock tonight, looks like it's Maria-chan versus Molly on Speed Gaming 4. Everything looks like it's going all right there. At 8:30 tonight is also going to be Mikon versus... I'm going to butcher this. Husky?
It's NIU. It's Northern Illinois.
Oh, NIU Husky? Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, I got confused. I was like, oh, it's Northern Illinois. And I'm like, I don't know why I know that as well as I do.
So Violet is going to be joining us in chat, actually.
Awesome, man. So if you have any questions for her, feel free to ask in chat, and I'm sure she'll have some opinions on this seed.
Oh, absolutely. Meanwhile, Gweg is on his way into Ganon's tower here shortly.
Yep, absolutely. Well, decide to stop at Hookshot Cave first. Again, probably looking. It could be looking for the boots too, but most likely looking for silvers. And it's a quick stop. Why not?
No, it's not bad at all. I mean, I can absolutely understand. If you're still looking for silvers, there's Bombos. And Mirror Shield.
This is gonna be boots. Aw. I was trying to predict again.
So it'll be interesting to see which way Gweg decides to go.
You know, the way he's been looking for silvers, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up just full clearing until he gets silvers, even if he goes left side first. It feels like he really wants those silvers. He might not be entirely comfortable with silverless Ganon.
Oh, there's VioletPumpkin in chat. Hello, VioletPumpkin. Thank you so much for joining us. So, GG as well. So we're going to tell you, I mean, there's a couple questions that we have for you, obviously. One, Gweg didn't sequence break quite like you did, but really the key was you, like the flippers. He put off finding the flippers, and that really kind of led him astray. I think you guys were relatively close. But the main thing I got to ask you, you leaned into your sequence break hard early. You sequence broke the hobo to get the lamp, and then Waterfall Fairy had the bow, and you just kind of leaned into it, clearing out both Pod and Eastern Palace. I just kind of want to ask you kind of about your thought process going through that and sequence breaking and going from there. Meanwhile, Gweg is doing right side first, so he will pick up his silvers.
There's the silvers there. It's a good find. Obviously, he's probably one of those, so grabbing the key here and mirroring out. Remember, the chest was in the rando room in the bottom right, I believe.
Absolutely, it's in the bottom right. It was something like 17 at that point in time.
Yep, 17. That's right. So he'll get his key, and then he'll be going up the gauntlet here shortly, and getting through the rest of this season. That's fair, Violet. That's an understandable thought process. I mean, you can full clear him at that point. You know, you might as well, and it definitely fit in pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't think they had nothing of too major those two particular dungeons, but at least you got them out of the way.
Yeah, the other major thing that really led to a whole lot of difference. I mean, everything up until this point in time in the dungeon. I mean, if you think about it, everything was an overworld item location. Bow, both mitts, fire rod, ice rod, hammer, flippers, moon pearl, mirror. I mean, everything was an overworld except your dive into Swamp Palace, which was super gutsy and super paid off with both the hookshot being there and the flute. So tell me about what made you decide to go ahead and dip that as well. Gweg's in this horrible fire snake room in the meantime.
Yeah, that room's there's some rage bombs. I was just gonna say that room, the fire snake room, is a bit difficult without the boots, because you can just bonk over the one. But
And there it is.
Get that big key now. He is going to head up through the gauntlet, and we're well on our way here. And man, he has silvers, which is always nice.
Absolutely.
I want to give a shout out to my co-commentator here. You did a great job, and I didn't want to butcher your name. I just completely blanked on how to pronounce it. I apologize.
No, it's fine. Vitasia is fine.
Vitasia. Okay, I thought that in my head, and then I started saying something like, I'm going to mess this up. But you did a great job today. Thank you for being a great co-commentator, as usual.
Oh, absolutely, Zunker. Zunker to the rescue also. Big round of applause for him. Absolutely great co-commentator as well. Also, while we're patting each other on the back, shout out, of course, to Zelnus, our wonderful restreamer, and Planswalker as well. Thank you guys so much for all the work that you guys do. And finally, again, the runners. Absolutely amazing runners, both these guys, VioletPumpkin and Gweg. If you haven't yet, go ahead and follow them over here on Twitch. Just great runners, both of them. This race could have been anyone's. It's just Violet did sequence breaks and Gweg did, and that's kind of what it all came down to.
Yep, absolutely, and Violet, that definitely makes sense what you said there in chat. And you know, Swamp with 6 items, there was definitely a very good chance of progression there, and obviously there was.
I am still just struck at how many items were in the overworld. I mean, after so long, I think in Randomizer, a lot of the old-time runners, and I say old-time, people have been around for at least a year, are just accustomed to seeing dungeons have all the value. And in this seed, it was just almost purely overworld.
Yeah, that was amazing how much was in overworld. Like we said, what the hookshot and flute was basically the only 2 true progression items that weren't in the overworld, outside of obviously fire rod and escape. You don't get this too often, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not. And that shows the value of absolutely doing your overworld checks, even, I mean, leaning too heavily on the dungeons. And I know a lot of runners will just kind of beeline from dungeon to dungeon, especially after some earlier versions of Randomizer. But version 29, remember, rebalanced things. It's not that they made the overworld locations more valuable, it just equalized it so overworld is as viable as the other location checks. So absolutely do your overworld checks.
Yeah, absolutely, especially your beginning ones, and you know, if you can route them in well, it's worth checking, because yeah, as you said, they're rebalanced, and it's worth doing. It's a lot of this game, you know, when you're facing runners of a similar skill set, it's all about routing. I think we saw that today.
Absolutely. So Gweg's going through here. I'm never going to be able to say the name Greg regularly again after this race. I don't think.
I'm with you. I'm with you, and it's going to be kind of hilarious. That fire torch room there is it's fun when you don't actually have the fire rod.
When you say fun, I think you mean horrible.
Absolutely, it's a nightmare.
All right, so Gweg on his way to Moldorm 2.
And he goes down like pretty easy. Give him a little bit of a hassle there, but Moldorm 2 will go down with the Temper Sword in 1 spin and 1 slash, or I believe 3 slashes.
Oh, Gweg, why you got to do that to us?
Yeah, absolutely, VioletPumpkin. It made a lot of sense to do that sequence break with how early you got money and the pearl. It was definitely, and obviously it turned out to be a very good decision.
All right, and here is Aga 2. It kind of had some interesting placements. Good double there by Gweg.
A bit unlucky as well. Second double. Oh, that's a nice lineup.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. There's a good double. Right around the same time Violet did it.
And now he's on to the big blue pig. And with silvers, this shouldn't be too horribly long. Violet, we actually Gweg checked Hookshot Cave, and they weren't there even. So our guess is, my guess is probably almost has to be Ice Palace. I mean, there's a couple other minor locations, but that seems to be Ice Palace.
Could be Ice Palace. It could also be a little bit further back. We didn't check the right side of Desert Palace. I think we only found one item actually in Desert Palace.
No, but the right side was Boost Lock, though. The small key was on Torch.
Oh, right. There. So Ice Palace, and then we still had behind Ice Armos and Ganon's Tower as well.
Yep. Hopefully it was in Big Chest. That Big Chest GT, that'd been fun.
Oh, and they're saying it could be Left Side Swamp. That's right. Both runners just completely skipped Left Side Swamp.
That is a very valid point. It had everything else that we needed at the end. Might as well have boots, too.
All right, Gweg on his blue bacon fight.
Yep, heading into phase 3 here, getting into phase 4.
So much teleporting around, my goodness.
Yeah, Ganon's a jerk. And for the record, the way to have the randomizer seats set up when you're in a race like this, everybody gets the same number of warps, same number of blue balls in Aga, unless you like fall to Ganon, then things get kind of hairy. But
and there we do get confirmation from Ganon. Did you find the silver arrows in my tower?
Yes, we did, Ganon. Both runners did, as a matter of fact. I believe Gweg got the torch glitch, which is not as important when you're half silvers, but when you're doing silverless is very important.
Oh, absolutely.
Having a bit of a rough time here with Ganon, but nothing too major. Got a solid double. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you just beat me to the punch is all.
Fair. And GG the Gweg, finishing up here, getting to the Triforce room. Sometimes, it's one of those situations where the routing really killed him, but, he still played a really, really good match, and 214 isn't the worst run with this type of seed we had here.
Absolutely not. GG to Gweg. We'll see if we can't find him, get him in here.
I'm sure he'll if he comes in, he'll have a thing or two to say about this seed.
All right, Gweg is going to join us here directly. And joining us now is Gweg. How we doing, sir?
Oof, that was rough, but it was fun. I'm doing good.
I gotta tip my hat to you. That early Turtle Rock gamble didn't pay off, but it's not often we see a sub 1 hour Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I figured that people would like that, and I got such a weird start, and I was really flustered, and I figured I was behind. I actually didn't realize I didn't have a sword the first time I tried to open it, but if I did, I would have gone in right away, and I wouldn't have picked up any of the other swords either.
What's your thoughts there? Like three of the four swords were up there on Death Mountain, two of them in that Paradox Cave, and then the third one you found was on Laser Bridge. So they were all kind of locked behind that sequence, getting the lamp behind the flippers, behind the Titan's mitts, etc., etc.
Yeah, there was that was crazy, and it confused me a little bit because I got my sequence thinking really sort of messed up because I didn't know which swords I should have and which I shouldn't, and then I found the lamp at Hobo, which finally opened them up in logic, but by then I was so confused. And yeah, the laser skips, getting lost in that dark room on the platform with the torches and the fire bars, and then just by random luck finding my way back to the beginning, holding whatever direction I felt like. It was a fun seed though. GG to VioletPumpkin, who put the whooping on me that I deserved.
You know what? It wasn't nearly as bad as you think. I think the two decisions that you made that really stood out as the difference makers, it wasn't the Turtle Rock gamble, if that's going to surprise you. The two things were flippers in the hammer pegs, and then avoiding Swamp Palace at that point in time, which, everything else was in the overworld in this dungeon, in this seed, and then, of course, Hookshot and Flute are in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I think that messed with me a little bit because finding everything in the overworld, I didn't want to go into Swamp because I figured I'd find more stuff out there, but I should have gone in right after I checked Bombo's tablet, and it would have worked out a lot better. And I thought about it, but I wanted to get some other stuff first.
Yeah, absolutely. It made sense why you're doing what you're doing. Like they said with that seed, it's just, that's the thing with randomizer sometimes, you just get unfortunate luck.
That's why we all love it, though. I got no complaints. It's still a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And, Hookshot and Swamp is like the absolute worst.
Yeah, there was all kinds of weird stuff in this seed. That fourth sword on pedestal, the Hookshot, and then the Flute in Swamp.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course,
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all right. And I was going to say, and no one found the boots. We have no idea where the boots are at this point in time.
They have to be in ice, and I almost went in there pretty early, but I didn't think that fake flippering after I was so out of sequence was going to be a good idea just to get into Ice Palace.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's where we think they are. They could have been behind Ice Armos, but most likely Ice was probably where they're at. But yeah, with the way the seed went in terms of travel, you guys didn't have a lot of options because all the things that make it quick were very late or non-existent in this seed.
Yeah, it's always fun when you get to run around. Link gets his cardio workout in.
He looked like he gained a few pounds. It makes sense.
Right. But yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to next week. Thanks for everybody who commentated and restreamed and came out to watch. Good times.
Absolutely. And GG again to both runners. Both runners played really good, and it was a fun seed to watch, fun race to watch. And thank you again.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, GG to Gweg and VioletPumpkin. One more shout out. If you guys haven't followed them yet on Twitch, easiest way to support the runners is go ahead, giving them a follow here on Twitch. Also, shout out to our tracker, our restreamer, and the entire Speed Gaming staff. I do want to give a quick shout out. I mean, everyone has put in so much work putting all of this together. I mean, a 512 person tournament is not easy. Trackers, restreamers, commentators, chat moderators, challenge administrators, just everyone behind the scenes who's working to put this tournament together. Thank you, everyone, so much. Easiest way to support Speed Gaming and everything that we do, go ahead and give a follow to the Speed Gaming network of channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 6. Also here at ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4.
Absolutely. And I think that's about it for me. Once again, Vitasia, thank you so much for being a great commentator. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day.
Yeah, and thank you as well, Zunker. Great job, everyone, and we'll see you at the next Randomizer.